My journey with the unexplained began when I was 5. My name is Amber, and I'm a physical medium.
The she was crushed, her chest and her throat, and then the breathing stopped.
And the dead come to me for help.
He also slithers around and shows himself as different things, like shapeshifts.
He jumps out of the water and takes people back into the water. And he drowns them and kills them.
Come along with me and step into my world. Welcome to Amber's Paraworld.
I'm a physical medium, and I live here in West Virginia, and I like long walks on the beach with dead guys. I really do have a story about that, though. I really did bring one home a couple years ago from the beach. His name is Paul. He's here with me now. He goes everywhere with me. If I'm on an investigation and I use a spirit box, he's like, it's Paul. He's always talking. But not only do I connect with people who have passed away, I also channel ETs, as well as connect with different cryptids. Some of them I don't know what the names of them are, but they look weird. I've got one actually that lives in my woods that is white, and it has like these big horns, and it crawls down trees. I don't know what it is. It won't talk to me, but I see it quite often. I've had some communications with a Bigfoot in my area, and he has spoken to me a few times. I do have audio on that, but that is not public yet. But I always tell people, like when you're connecting with, for me, when I connect with people who have passed away, a lot of times they make me feel how they died. It could be like really bad head pain from a stroke, or like really bad chest pain from a heart attack. But not everybody has the same abilities. And I always tell people, keep that in mind when you have readings done, because a reading from me versus someone else, even if we have similar abilities, is going to be different. You're just going to get a different reading because everybody is a little different. And what I see, somebody else may not see. But most of the time, they'll show me what they look like when they passed away. Now the aliens, that whole story goes back when I was a little kid. I have a book that I wrote that is available at my table, and it talks about that as well as a bunch of other ghosts and cryptids. But my first ghost experience wasn't technically with ghosts, it was with a UFO. And this is back in the 80s, and we didn't have cable. I didn't know what UFOs were, but I still remember seeing it. It actually happened in Jackson County, and it's just been one that stuck with me. And after that experience is when everything just started happening, and I started having encounters with people who have passed away, as well as other things. So if you're interested, I do have that book over there. It's just my stories from my perspective. But yeah, the aliens, I've been kind of scared of them, like pretty much my whole life. I had a really negative experience with 2 of them, and I didn't really try to connect with them. But then once I kind of faced my fear and started connecting, like 99% of them are good. They're here to help. They've been here for a long time. They were here a lot longer than some of the humans were, but they're here to help. They're here to make sure nobody gets hurt. They're just here for a lot of good things. One of their biggest messages they always give when I'm channeling is they want people to love one another. And it sounds really cliche, we've heard this our whole lives, but stop hating people, stop arguing with people because they're on different political sides or they think things differently than you. Just share the love, and that's what they're here for. They want us to make the world a better place by loving, and we can all do that collectively. We just have to think about that every day, and when we make decisions, base that on how we want to be treated, and what we can do to make the world a better place rather than, being selfish and angry, taking things out on other people. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. I didn't have anything actually like written out or any cool videos prepared, but you can find me on YouTube under Amber's Paraworld, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Facebook. I have bad internet at home, so not always Facebook. Times. I had that experience, and I've had multiple experiences, like seeing things in the sky, hearing, we've seen like huge, even my mom saw it, like these giant glowing orbs that just float in the yard. Like I don't know if it has to do with just the area, but I definitely think West Virginia with the mountains and stuff, it's a paranormal hotspot. It really is. We don't get enough credit here versus other places, but there's a lot of activity, from UFO activity, cryptids, spirit, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That's when I first noticed everything. So it may just be that like it happened before and I didn't realize it because nothing really stuck out. But that experience, like I can still recall exactly what it looked like. And that's what I noticed. I was like 5, So, but I do remember, everything about that day. Yes.
You said you were in contact with a Bigfoot and said, what was that like?
I had known that this one was in this location, and I just, one day I was like, okay, I'm just going to see if he'll talk to me. And I just tried to channel him like I do with spirit. It was a little different. He did speak words to me, which is the audio I have. But it wasn't like I'm talking to you, it was like broken words. The ones there that I talked to did not like to be called Bigfoot or Sasquatch. They have actual names just like we do, and that's what he wanted to be called. So I haven't had much time in the last several months to go back and try to connect with him again, but I do believe they are on a whole different level spiritually than what we kind of assume a lot of times. We think they're just like this big dumb ape, and they're not. They're so much smarter and so much more advanced than what we give them credit for. They can connect with dowsing rods as well. Some people will say they don't. In the cryptid Bigfoot world, you're either they're a spiritual, kind of spiritual too, or they're not. But in my experience and what I've encountered, they definitely have a spiritual aspect to them.
So when you say, I don't know, you're getting called a spirit or a supernatural entity or paranormal creature, that type of thing?
I definitely believe they can be flesh and blood, bleed, shed hair, all that stuff. But they can also go away when they want to. They're going to show themselves to who they want, and they can read our energy. So if you go into an investigation or, go looking for one and you're with somebody that's like, I'm going to kill that thing if I see it, you're probably not going to have a good time. They're not going to come out and be like, hey, I'm right here. But they definitely can connect with you and read your energy, and they know if you mean well or not,
Hey, Mom. Do you actually like taking walks with dead guys?
Yes, I do. I know, if I was not at a paranormal convention, that would sound so weird, wouldn't it? Like, oh my gosh, she used to be on a crime show.
What was the question?
My daughter just said, do you really like taking walks with dead guys? I was like, yeah. She was there when I met him.
I know.
But yeah, his story, and I have another haunted doll at home. Her story, they're all in my book, and like the ETs and some of the cryptids, some of the haunted places in West Virginia I've been to, the haunted Heyman House, College Hill Hospital. I wrote about those in the book as well. So, had some. Usually they follow me home. So when they follow me home, I don't know. I probably have like 30 dead people in the yard right now, maybe more. if they need me to cross them over, I do that. I help them. But some of them just want to hang out and make weird noises at night. Bug my dogs. Does anybody else have any other questions?
What about your daughter? Does she have ability?
Yes.
Yeah.
My mom is sitting beside her. She does too. It's kind of
Do you
like a family
do you
thing.
like talking with dead guys?
I like talking to all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a genetic thing?
It's definitely a family thing, yes. But I do believe everybody has the ability to work on their own abilities, you know, and that comes with a lot of work. I work on mine a lot. I don't drink fluoride. I don't eat certain processed foods. You know, a lot about it is like what you put in your body, and eating clean and drinking clean and meditating, focusing on clearing your chakras, grounding yourself in the earth. It's a lot of work. But everybody has abilities that they can work on, for sure.
So your mom had it, and you had it since you were a kid as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mom's is more like in dreams, like she'll have prophetic dreams. If my dreams came true, it'd be really weird, because I have strange dreams.
Same.
Yeah, I don't want mine to come true.
That's how I knew you was bringing a guy home from the beach.
Oh, yeah,
Spirit.
she knew he was coming home with me. Like, he came to her. When I brought Paul home from the beach, he showed up in her dream that night. But she didn't see, like, I guess you didn't see his front, like, just behind.
Just the behind.
How do you disconnect when you don't want to, let's say, embrace, like, at that time you don't want to connect with them? Like, can you disconnect from that? Or
I can ignore him if I'm really busy. Or keep I have ADHD, so I'm always busy. But if I'm super busy, then I don't pay much attention to it. But there's a lot of times that, you know, there's been a lot of times I've chosen not to give messages, and only because, you know, when you're at a restaurant or at a location and you don't know these other people, and you know, I don't have a camera behind me. It's not a TV show. It's really weird to go to somebody like, hey, who's this guy that's throwing up and he's got gray hair and he's wearing his plaid shirt and he wants to tell you hi. It's really weird sometimes. Sometimes people look at me like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. And some people just are not open to that at all. But then a lot of them are, but it's, I don't know. They make me feel how they passed a lot of times. So if they were sick, then I'll feel sick. So I try not to, if I don't want to, I'll try not to connect with them, but it's hard not to. Definitely hard. Spirit, I think, makes me feel worse than the demonic ones. I've met a few demons, and you know.
That's what I was going to ask. You said that ones, you know, they tell you to love one another. You've never come across one that's like, I absolutely cannot stand that person. I'm not gonna
Oh yeah, I mean, human spirits are the worst for that. Like, I had to help a lady. She hated her own family, her own kids. Like, she was just like really mean to me. Yeah, I finally got her. I'm like, look, you're not a nice person. You either let me help you now, or you're just going to be hanging out somewhere for who ever knows how long, you know. Sometimes you got to talk them into it. Some of them don't, you know, if they don't have the same beliefs, if they don't believe in God, you know, what if there's a lot of religions that don't? So you have to maybe call on their grandma or a family member. But then sometimes it's good to know their story so that you don't call on somebody that maybe abused them or something. There's a little bit of work that can go into it.
From your perspective, can you define demon?
Something that was never human, that doesn't really have a lot of nice things to say. I think the word demon gets thrown around a lot. If somebody's door cracks or creaks, you know, they're like, oh my God, my house is possessed. Usually it's grandma on a walker and she ran into the door. And people freak out. I've met demons that are nicer than some humans I've met. And that's just the truth. Most are low vibrational. I've met a few that's given me a hard time that I've had to kind of battle. But like, I even gave him the benefit of the doubt because I knew this one was like, something was weird with him. And I believe I wrote about him in my book. He was a mess. But he showed himself to me as this man. They always seem to want to wear black. But then he shape-shifted into this giant black snake. And I'm like, well, maybe he's a human who figured out how to shapeshift. That's cool. But he was a demon. He was trying to wreak havoc, but
Demons have gender?
I've met male and female demons. Actually, I think it's only been one female. But, you know, like I met the demons that are at Bobby Mackey's. A lot of people have heard about that place. They had no intention of like trying to come home with me and like mess with me. But they were just kind of cool being where they're at. And then, let's see, there was one that was like a really low vibrational one that was in a Ouija board. Even my spirit guide was like, you don't even have to do nothing with her. She can't do anything. A lot of them are, they just try to scare you. In my personal experience, I've never had one pretend to be somebody's relative. I know people say that a lot. I've never had that. I'm not saying they couldn't because anything's possible. I've seen dragons, so I know anything's possible, but I've never had that happen. I've never had one pretend to be somebody. You know, a lot of people think that anytime you connect with spirit that it's a demon pretending. It's not. Spirit, we don't die. Our soul always will continue. We just, that's just how we are. It's like once you start working on abilities or just finding yourself, meditating, getting to know yourself, it's like it takes you to a whole different level and you really start to understand why we're here. And it's pretty much karmic lessons. Earth is hard. we got to get these lessons out of the way and then maybe we can go to Mars or something. I don't know. I hope I don't have to come back, but I probably will.
I want to go to Jupiter. I want to go to Awe.
Have you found a way to determine whatever you're speaking to, whether it's lying to you? Or is it just intuition?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, though, they just kind of fess up to what they've done. You know how they've acted. Typically, how somebody is when they're alive is how they are when they're dead.
Put it in my
You're thoughtful
pocket.
when you're alive, you're going to be thoughtful when you're dead, probably. Not all the time, but most likely. Some people are not as bad when they're dead, but I've met some pretty mean dead people, and I'm like, you know what? Go find somebody else to bug. There's some that are mean, and I'm like, you know, you were probably a joy to live beside of, you know. But most of the time, I've never really had issues with them lying. Even the demonic ones. I mean, they'll show me something like they're human, but then change into something. But I'm getting better the more I've connected with them. And that sounds really weird saying I've connected with demons, but I have. It's easier to differentiate between it. You know, like I said, the first one I met, I was like, he's really cool. He learned how to shape shift, but I thought it was like some kind of cool trick we could do, but it wasn't.
He was like, psych.
Yeah, he was tricking me.
Pulled out Uno.
Or I tricked
reverse
myself,
card.
I guess.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
Do you believe in possession? Like demon possession or attachment?
I definitely think it can happen. I've had things follow me home. When I was at Lake Shawnee, something followed me home. And I was live on TikTok when this thing, and then I started convulsing, and nobody in the comments was like, hey, what's wrong with you? You just zoned out and convulsed. But every time I would speak, you could hear him talking, and he would be like, I'm evil. You know, it was like a typical trying to scare me stuff. But I knew he was there after I left. That place is wild. I don't know that I would ever go back there myself. And that video is pinned on my YouTube channel. It's definitely creepy. I know people I know people that's been there that's never had an experience. We actually didn't stay that night. We had it till like 10 or 11 the next morning, and the only one with me was my mom. We were just out there in the middle of the night in the dark, you know, by ourselves, and
With a
I had
windy day.
this vision of my Jeep going into the water, and the doors wouldn't open, and we died. And then when I told her, she's like, I had that exact same vision a little while ago. So we left. I mean, I took that as a sign. I'm not going to, like, whatever's in that water, I kept seeing this, like this black cat looking thing, like this creature. I don't know if it's like some type of water nymph or what it was, but it lives in the water and it pulls people in and kills them. So that's always interesting. It creeped me out. I wouldn't get too close to the water, like myself.
Do you think, say, an abandoned building, for example, that hasn't had actual physical humans in it for a while, and all of a sudden you open it up to paranormal investigations, do they require physical energy to kind of manifest themselves? To kind of feed off your energy?
I think they just kind of go wherever. They can be wherever they want, but just like
You said the demons like stay in their spots. Like,
right.
Why?
I don't know. I mean,
staying there?
I would assume they just like it there. I mean, I don't know why they choose to do that. But for the most part, I think, I mean, there's so many, think of how long the earth has been here and how many people have died. There's spirit everywhere. And, you know, when you're dealing with abandoned places, or even some haunted places that you go to and pay to go on an investigation, you don't know who's coming in that door and what they're bringing with them. But like a graveyard, I had somebody tell me once, why would you go to a graveyard and look for spirits? They're not there. Well, they are, and if I'm over there reading graves and talking about these people, they're going to show up. Like their spirit, their energy's going to be there. Not everybody that's buried in a graveyard is just going to be sitting in there every night. They're going to be with their family. But if you're talking about them and looking for them and asking who, you know, hey, are you here? Can I connect with you? They're going to show up. So they're just kind of lingering everywhere. I've seen them at Lowe's, Walmart, Applebee's. They're everywhere. The beach. Yes. And a lot of times, like,
I've seen them everywhere.
I've had a lot of spirit tell me that, like, they build things on top of their graves. So, like, what we're standing on, you know, there's a whole town underneath it, and people have built on it, and, you know, they're just kind of stuck underneath all this dirt and not in a proper cemetery. Any other questions?
Where is your book for sale at? Which
The next room over.
Okay.
And I have it's called The Dead in Me, and I have a podcast on Spotify called The Dead in Me as well. So I kind of just hang out with dead people and aliens and blog it on YouTube. So like the last few videos have been like the Randonautica series because there's like it's too cold to go and rent places out and stay all night. I'm too old for that. So my bones hurt when I get up, so I'm not going anywhere before it's 10 degrees. And so when places open back up, I will have some more videos. But that's what I do. I go to places, investigate, or go to houses and tell them, you know, what I feel, what I see, how to get rid of it. Sometimes I get rid of it for them. It just depends.
Yes. Have you been to the Anchorage in Marietta?
No, I've never heard of it.
So, to get rid of them, is it, based on your experiences, is it there's a message you're trying to get across, they've forgotten something you want to tell, or they're just stuck where they want?
I don't know. It just varies for different situations. Some of them just want their family to know that they're there. Some of them choose to be here. They want to be here, and they're going to be noisy as they can until whoever they're with gets to the other side. You know, they're waiting on them. Some of them have no intention to go learn their karmic lessons, to go back, you know, and heal or whatever. They don't. But it's like everybody has that opportunity. Even the people we think should just like burn in hell forever, they have that same opportunity that you and I have. They might be on a lower vibration when they get there, but they definitely have the opportunity to go heal and reincarnate again. And hopefully not be crazy, but sometimes it happens. Any other questions?
I got one. Can you describe when you say a low vibration? What do you mean by that?
Like that's how like the category I put like demonic things in, like just something that's low vibrational. High vibrational I would consider like our spirit guides. Some of our family members can be like a higher vibration, like just radiating the good energy and wanting to help and love. The lower vibrations are, I mean, like I used to kind of think like that demons were just like gonna attack me. You know what I mean? Like you can't base anything off of Ghost Adventures. Don't think that. I mean, if something's gonna jump up on you, you're not gonna hear this dramatic drum roll right before it happens, unless you edit the music in. But I don't know. I don't think I'd ever want to meet him. Just I don't know. But they're not. I don't know. Demons are just like the low vibrational ones. Like I'm at the point now where I'm confident enough that I'll just walk up and be like, "Look, try me," you know, and you got to go. I don't run from any of them.
So the vibrational part is actually more of a description of like karmically how you
right,
feel
like where
about
your,
them,
like your
more
soul.
than it is something they actually physically vibrate or you feel vibration or anything like that.
It can be both, but it's more of like what level you're on. You're not going to vibrate at a higher level if you're like negative. But the whole, you know, I'm still learning. We're always learning. Like if anybody ever tells you they know everything about spirit or anything like that, they're crazy because they don't. They're lying. We're always learning. Every day we're here, we're learning. All of our experiences are all for that, you know, that soul journey. But I don't know. There's a lot I need to learn more about demons, but it's kind of like a touchy subject. Do you want to just kind of sit down and have coffee with one and talk to them and ask questions? I mean, I have a Ouija board. I don't know if I want to try to connect with one or not. I might. I connected with Archangel Michael on it. And he was cool with it. Him and Jesus were both cool with like Ouija boards weren't invented back then. You know, TV shows make you think they're bad. It's no different than the pendulum I have in my pocket. It's no different than a spirit box. Bad things can happen with any of it. You know, people can get a spirit attachment at Lowe's just like they can at a cemetery. That's what I always tell people. Just be careful what you're doing. I hope you guys have a great time here and. Thank you for coming. And that's about all I have.